Right now, thousands of Australians are logging into myGov this week and seeing the same shocking thing. Surprised, their Centrelink payment is just not there. No warning, no letter in the mailbox, just an empty account on the day the rent is due. Sighs. And here's what worries me most. Many of these people did nothing wrong. They simply didn't know about a rule that changed. If you're watching this because your payment stopped or you're scared it might, take a breath. You're in the right place. Reassuring. I'm going to walk you through the 7 most common reasons Centrelink payments stop in 2026. And more importantly, I'll show you exactly how to fix each one. Welcome to Centrelink Pension Bulletin, the channel where we cut through the confusing government language and explain things the way they should be explained, simply, honestly, and without the jargon. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to check first, what questions to ask Centrelink, and how to get your payment moving again as quickly as possible. Let's start with the one that catches the most people off guard. Reason number 1, you missed a reporting date. This is by far the most common reason payments stop. If you're on a payment like JobSeeker or Youth Allowance, you need to report your income every fortnight, even if that income is zero. Here's the part that surprises people. Even one missed report can pause your payment completely, not reduce it. Pause it entirely until you log back in and report. Now, you might be thinking, but I don't work. Why do I need to report? That doesn't matter. The system still needs that confirmation from you every single fortnight like clockwork. So the very first thing to check right now is your reporting date. Log into myGov or the Centrelink Express Plus app and look for a red notification. That's usually the first clue. But missed reporting is only one piece of the puzzle. There's a second, quieter reason that's catching families completely off guard this year. Reason number 2, your income or your family's income hasn't been confirmed with the tax office. This one is huge for families receiving family tax benefit or the childcare subsidy. And the deadline for this is stricter than most people realize. If your income for the previous financial year isn't confirmed either by lodging a tax return or telling Centrelink you don't need to lodge one, your payments can drop, in some cases all the way down to zero. For families on childcare subsidy specifically, that payment can fall to 0% from the 6th of July if income isn't confirmed, and there's no back pay for the gap while it's sorted out. That means real childcare bills paid in full out of your own pocket. Let that sink in for a moment. Not a reduced payment, zero, and no money back for the time you went without it. Confirming your income is usually quick, just a few minutes through myGov or the Centrelink app, either by lodging your tax return or letting them know you didn't need to lodge one this year. If you have grandchildren in childcare or you help your own children with bills, please share this point with them. It's one of the easiest fixes on this entire list, but only if you catch it in time. Now let's talk about something that affects a very specific group of Australians. If you're on the age pension, this next reason is especially important for you. Reason number 3, an income or asset review. Centrelink regularly reviews pensioners to check that the amount you're getting still matches your current situation. Maybe you sold a property, maybe an inheritance came through, maybe your superannuation balance changed. These reviews aren't punishment, they're routine. But if you don't respond to a review request, your payment can be paused until you do. Here's a tip that trips a lot of people up. The notification about a review often arrives in your myGov inbox, not your actual letterbox. If you're not used to checking myGov often, weeks can slip by without you noticing. So here's a simple habit worth building. Check your myGov inbox at least once a week, even if you're not expecting anything. Treat it like checking the actual mailbox. We've covered reporting, income confirmation, and reviews, but there's a 4th reason that's become far more visible in the news over the past year, and it deserves its own explanation. Reason number 4, Mutual obligation requirements. If you're on JobSeeker or Youth Allowance as a job seeker, if you don't meet the requirements set by your employment services provider and you don't have a valid reason, you'll receive what's called a demerit, enough demerits, and you move into what's known as the warning zone where your payment can be suspended. Now, here's something important and quite comforting if this applies to you or someone you know. If your payment is suspended for this reason, you generally won't lose the money permanently. You just need to contact your provider and meet the requirement you missed, and reporting continues from there. But there's a more serious version of this. If you refuse a suitable job offer or leave a job without a reasonable excuse, that can lead to a full payment cancellation with no payment at all for 4 weeks. After that, you'd even need to lodge a brand new claim just to start again. That's a steep penalty for one missed appointment or one misunderstanding. So if you or a family member is in this situation, don't stay quiet. Call your provider before the appointment, not after you've missed it. Now, here's something worth knowing because it's genuinely helpful news for some people. There is currently a partial pause happening in parts of the country. In several remote areas of Australia, mutual obligation penalties and suspensions have been paused as part of a transition to a new program called the Remote Australia Employment Service. If you live in one of those regions, this could directly explain why your payment situation looks different right now. This is exactly why checking the details for your specific location matters so much. National headlines about Centrelink rarely apply the same way in every state or region. Let's move to reason number 5, and this one is simpler than it sounds, but very easy to forget. Reason number 5, a change in your circumstances wasn't reported. This includes things like moving house, a change in your relationship status, a new job, even a family member moving in with you. Centrelink needs to know about these changes, usually within 14 days. If a change like this happened and wasn't updated, your payment can be paused while Centrelink works out whether it affects your entitlement. The good news is this is usually one of the fastest fixes on this list once you update your details. Here's a small habit that saves a lot of stress later. Anytime something meaningful changes in your life, financially or personally, make updating Centrelink part of that same week, not next month, that same week. Now, reason number 6 is one that causes a lot of unnecessary panic because it looks exactly like a stop payment, but it isn't one. Reason number 6, a temporary system delay or a public holiday adjustment. Centrelink systems are in places decades old, and from time to time, there are scheduled upgrades where payment processing can be slowed for up to 72 hours. During these periods, your payment isn't gone. It's simply delayed. Public holidays can shift payment dates too, sometimes earlier than usual, sometimes later, and Centrelink normally announces these changes in advance through your online account. So before you assume the worst, it's worth checking whether there's a scheduled disruption happening around the date your payment was due. A quick look at your Centrelink app notifications can save you a very stressful phone call. That said, I always want you to trust your instincts. If something feels wrong and your payment still hasn't come through after a delay window has passed, don't just wait quietly. Follow up. Which brings us to reason number 7, and this one is a little different from the others because it's less about you and more about the overall system. Reason number 7, broader compliance and account verification checks. Throughout 2026, Services Australia has been running a wider compliance effort, encouraging recipients to make sure their account details are accurate and up to date. Millions of recipients have been asked to complete updates, reviews, or income confirmations with a warning that payments could be paused for anyone who doesn't respond. This has affected people across many different payments. From the age pension to JobSeeker to Youth Allowance, the message from Services Australia has been consistent. Check your account and respond to anything outstanding. If you've been putting off logging into myGov because it feels confusing or overwhelming, I understand completely. But right now in 2026, that small task matters more than ever. So let's bring this all together. 7 reasons missed reporting unconfirmed income, reviews, mutual obligation requirements, unreported changes, system delays, and wider account verification checks. Now let's talk about what to actually do step by step if your payment has already stopped. First, log into myGov or the Express Plus Centrelink app before you call anyone. 9 times out of 10, the reason will be sitting right there waiting for you in plain language. Second, complete whatever task is listed. This might be reporting your income, confirming a tax return, or acknowledging a review request. Often, this alone restarts your payment within a day or two. Third, if you're on JobSeeker or Youth Allowance and the issue relates to mutual obligations, contact your provider directly. Explain your situation calmly and clearly. Most providers are more understanding than people expect, especially for older job seekers. Fourth, if you genuinely cannot find a reason or the app isn't giving you clear answers, call Centrelink directly. Yes, the wait times can be long. I know that's frustrating, but there is a dedicated phone line for each payment type, whether that's the age pension line, the job seeker line, or the family tax benefit line, and calling the right one saves time. Fifth, and this is important, ask specifically whether you're entitled to back pay once the issue is resolved. In many cases, if you were still eligible the whole time, you can receive the missed payments once everything is sorted, but that's not automatic in every situation, so it's worth asking directly rather than assuming. Here's something I want to leave you with because I think it matters more than any single tip in this video. A stopped Centrelink payment feels frightening, especially when you rely on it for rent, groceries, or medication. But in the vast majority of cases, this is not a punishment. It's a pause, waiting for one small piece of information from you. The people who get through this fastest are the ones who check their account calmly, complete the task in front of them, and follow up when something feels unclear. You don't need to panic. You just need to know where to look. And that's exactly why this channel exists. Every week, we break down exactly what's changing with Centrelink and pension payments in plain, honest language without the confusing government wording. If this video helped make sense of something that felt stressful or confusing, please give it a thumbs up. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who are dealing with the exact same worry you might be feeling right now. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Centrelink Pension Bulletin so you don't miss the next update. Rules like these change often, sometimes with very little warning, and I want you to hear about them here first and explained simply. I'd also love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me which of these 7 reasons applied to your situation or your payment issue got sorted. Your experience might be exactly what helps someone else watching this find their answer faster. In our next video, we're going to look closely at exactly how much the age pension is set to change later this year and what it could mean for your fortnightly payment. You will not want to miss that one. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Take care of yourself, look after your account, and I'll see you in the next video.